All right, poets. Well, in that case, here's a poem by Gwendolyn Brooks. Let it be alleys, let it be your heart, whose janitor the javelins, apathetic thought, to cheapen us in the darkness that we've sought and prayed we found. Run and make the petals fall. Let it be stairways in a spinnery box, where you have thrown me, scraped me with your kiss, have owned me, have released me after this cavern kindness, smile away our sharks. That is the birthright of our lovely love, in swaddling clothes not like that other one, not the delicatness in it or above, nor found by any wise man either. Run. Must not catch us here, definitionless in this strict atmosphere. Let us shine for the loves that fear, lovely love. Oh, let us love. That is a birthright of our lovely love, in swaddling clothes not like that other woman, not lit by any fondling star above, nor found by any wise man either. Run. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. We thought we'd start things off with a little music and poetry. And these are all poems, by the way, which we'll be doing tonight. But we're going to play one more, and then we're going to turn things over to you poets. And this one goes out to you. Because it takes just a little bit of courage to get up here and bare your soul in front of strangers, especially if it's for the first time. And this poem, it's about, well, among other things, that experiencing things for the first time. It's called Papa Wheelie. Oil-dank bowels of a nightmare garage, you ride benighted. Saturday morning's acolyte, sleep dazed but right. Straight for the ramp you built last night in your driveway. In homage to the great adrenaline-hazed Evel Knievel, archetype for every danger boy and boneheaded troglodyte bent on a bright schematic, vying to break more bones than the Guinness World Record, flying prone over cars, buses, lions, fountains, sharks, canyons, rattlesnakes, before the neighborhood wakes. Topping the slope, you rev your banana bike and pedal hard on the approach. Past a hushed gang of squirrels and robins holding their breath, half hoping this levitation will and won't be your last. He always wears stars and stripes. Was his helmet screwed on tight? Will his next attempt be televised? If he succeeds and fails yet again to reach the light. Devil dared and fair warned, you rocket as advertised off a wood plank, sailing head along over Flames Coliseum, into your first kiss and beer and Eucharist. Your first dorm room farewell and that first rock concert at the Orpheum. Your body's first chemistry experiments. And that first storm of contrite indignation shadowing your first arrest. Your firstborn silence, like a warm ghost. Your island that formed in a widening ocean. When that first greyhound pulled away from the curb, taking a friend more than a friend. Inevitable as the first long gaze that followed. Soaring through every stunt since, angling for the abyss, realizing too late your trajectory is off by an inch. And this is going to hurt. You brace yourself for that embrace. Did he always wear stars and stripes? Was this thing.
Thanks very much. Now I'll turn things over to the poets. Very exciting.
So great. Thank you for kicking us off. We're going to see more from them, so I'm not even going to say another word about them until the end of the poetry part, and then we're going to come back for more music, and it's going to be so great. Welcome, everyone. We are so delighted to be with you. I'm going to come down and hang out with my great pal, Anna, here. So we are here tonight on behalf of the Emily Dickinson Museum. I'm Brooke Steinhauser. I'm Senior Director of Programs here.
On. Oh, okay. I'm Anna Plummer, Program Coordinator at the museum.
So we are so happy that you're participating in the Tell It Slant Poetry Festival here on the Friday of what has been a really wonderful week. Anna, what do you love most about the Poetry Festival?
I love the whole week. I love that it's a whole week of poetry and you just get to keep soaking in deeper and deeper. I also especially love the poetry marathon and discovering new Dickinson poems and hearing people revel in that. So.
And this morning, one of my new favorite programs that maybe we've ever done, here in this tent, we had 150 plus high school students having a workshop with poet Terrence Hayes, and they wrote incredible poems, and they were so brave, just like you all are about to be for this open mic tonight. So onward. So let us tell you a little bit more about what we're going to have tonight. We have a lineup of 12 poets. They have come from New Jersey, Connecticut, New York City, Vermont, Massachusetts, all over. And we're so grateful to them for being here and to all of you. Each of them is going to have 4 minutes to read some work to you. And my dear friend Michael here, Mike, stand up. Yes, has the dubious distinction of being our timer. So he is going to be timing you 4 minutes each. And if you hear this jazzy tune, that means it's your time. Time's up. So you gotta wrap it up. and that last poem. So Anna, shall you introduce the first poet?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so Kathryn Good-Schiff, you are welcome to head right up onto the stage. Kathryn is the author of Love Letters to Ghosts from Holyoke-based Meat for Tea Press, and she was the finalist for the Robin Becker Chapbook Prize. She works as an academic librarian and lives in East Hampton with her wife and their animals in the shadow of an old mountain. So please give her a warm welcome.
Hello, thank you. Okay. Every mic is different. How's that? Great. Okay, I'm going to read 2 or 3 poems. This first one is in my book, Love Letters to Ghosts, and it has Emily Dickinson, and it was written many years ago in a workshop given by this museum. I have no idea what the prompt was, and you'll see it's kind of a weird poem. And when I put it in this book, I went back and I needed a epigraph for context. So this quote is from Robin Wall Kimmerer from Braiding Sweetgrass. The theme in this poem is the idea of the 3 sisters, corn, beans, and squash. So what she says about them is, together these plants feed the people, feed the land, and feed our imaginations, telling us how we might live. So this is 3 estranged sisters. Emily Dickinson, Princess Diana, and Barbara Bush have come for tea. Instead of scones and cakes, I give each one a handful of seeds. Emily gets the beans. She twines and enriches the soil. Squash seeds go to Diana because she's sweet and can be hollowed out. Barbara will have the corn. Traveling the wind, her words are pollen. You're sisters now, I say, to their silent, questioning faces. Your bodies are bread. Interdependence is the only way to keep our world alive. But already, Barbara is looking out the window. Di goes running down the hill. Only Emily has any idea what I'm saying. This next one was written just about a year ago after I sadly lost a beloved pet and was thinking about other losses. It also has an epigraph from Mary Ruffel from her essay on beginnings, which is, "We begin in admiration and we end by organizing our disappointment." This is Grief Cuzzle. Death took her spirit, her body remained. Daily, I greet the jar of her remains. We can't organize these disappointments. 8 of 9 cups have broken, 1 remains. Violent winds shear away foliage. Soon, only vultures' bare branches remain. Autumn days end in purple and pink. When the sun leaves us, bright Venus remains. I can't see you, but I know you are there. As a baby grows, the mountain remains. Daily I read about persecution. Somehow my love for my neighbors remains. Green leaves of the tree make food for the roots. Young shoots support the heartwood that remains. Only one of the 9 cups is uncracked. The poet sips from it, toasts to what remains. And this last one also has in it the idea of endings and also beginnings. It's based on a tarot deck called the Gaian Tarot that has really beautiful artwork that inspired the imagery in this 5-part poem. We begin at the end. 1. Yesterday, my mother took me to the forest. Surrounded by green, no recourse to sky, we followed an uneven path. When darkness fell, she stepped away. I can't teach you what I never learned. 2. The mind is not a hollow-boned bird that can fly all day until the sky turns red. It is a kite that needs your body for tether so it can swoop and soar. 3. Today you must climb the mountain with your burden of stories. Now is not the time to walk alone in the forest. People at the summit are waiting for you. 4. The fish tasted like water. Now the river lives in me. When I die, I will be greeted by millions of tiny mouths. 5. If childbirth is wildfire, my womb is stone. How will the forest renew without me? My legacy, a bare granite mountain you can see for miles. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. All right, next up, we have Tzivia Gover, a DreamWork professional and author of 8 books of memoir and spiritually grounded self-help, sums up her vocation saying, I am a writer, a woman who wants to share her dreams. I am a dreamer, a writer without words. Tzivia received her MFA in writing from Columbia University and is currently writing The Life of H, Sarah Reimagined, a poetic and restorative translation of the matriarch's stories from Genesis. Thanks. Break a leg.
Thank you. I almost did, getting up here. Hi, it's so good to be here. I'm Tzivia Gover. I hail from Walt Whitman's Long Island. I came up here for college a million years ago and ended up in Emily Dickinson's backyard. So it's a nice Nice journey for a poet. If this were the gateway to heaven, then her bed was a ladder laid down on its back. That pillow, the stone where she settled her head, and she was the traveler weary. And if so, this room on the stark, sterile hallway, guarded with a lock on the door and the nurses of doom, was a crater filling with light as her breath emptied out. And the whole damn room, you could say, was dreaming, those angels all a feather, pulling and lifting in the fluorescent lit heaven, up and down, and usher her out. As I sat on the lip of the bed, letting her go, through the ceiling, the roof, past the half-smiling moon. When we rolled her in mere weeks before, and all out of hope, this ward was a well-disguised hell. But God, I now saw, was in this place all along, and I did not know. So from the end of my mom's life to the beginning of mine, wishbone. The chicken eaten, my mother would wipe the bone of its breast clean of grease and gristle, leave it to dry on the windowsill. When brittle, we'd pinch opposite ends and pull. The snap of separation gavelled judgment. Whose wish would be blessed? What sound did the first man make when God brickled a bone and splintered the cage of his heart? Bloody break, rending flesh from his flesh. Then such wonder was born. I am the daughter who in the beginning was pulled from her mother. Wishbone flared forceps, pincered my still unborn hips, pulled me, flesh of her flesh, pulled me from her. The wish to create, bond, break, and again. And I mentioned I came up here for college, and on my very first day, I met the friend who would become one of the loves of my life, and I lost her just a month ago. And this poem is based on a dream that I had about her. House guest. So this is for Asia. House guest. It starts predictably with an unexpected knock, and there she is. She unpacks her garden, trowels, lobelia, lupine, pasture rose, into the good dirt of my neglected yard. I pour the tea, and before our cups are empty, she has sowed her magic, established plants out back where weeds flourish between her visits. An instant Eden blooms with hyacinth, valerian, phlox, ivy, cascading over fences. I marvel at her ease with miracles, with seed and bloom. And when it's time to go, she packs with deft efficiency, each flower suitcased for the journey home, stamen, sepal, stem, and petal, folded in with paired socks and crease-crossed sleeves and cuffs. These visits could go on forever, or so I thought. When she looks away this time, I slip in amongst those fields of denim in her case, more blossom, Jacob's ladder, forget-me-nots. And when she's gone this time, I swear it, I'll step into my plot. I tell myself I must dig in and tend my own. Thank you.
Next up will be River Adams. River Adams is a poet from New England, and her work has appeared in the Mentor and Santa Fe Writers Project, and she was a finalist for the Rattle Poetry Prize.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to the museum for having me. This is really exciting. I have 2 poems tonight. My first is called It Has Been Less Than a Week. It's been less than a week since alligator Alcatraz opened its jaws, and I notice how the land is full of immigrants. Rosa rugosa rises on the brink of a dune on a New England beach. The scent of rose hips marries sargassum, honeymoons on the sea buckthorn in my hair. It does not have papers. Nativists in a nature community call to ditch the ditch lily. Still, another tiger lily yawns awake in my front yard, stretches its arms like stray hairs on the chin of my pathwalk. I do not pluck them. I scratch the reliability in my memory as the coming of summer, a welcome home to the season when Potentilla indica form like blood blisters on the shins of my backyard acres. I do not ask them for proof. I do not strip them of their right to be here. It is the same as mine. The Connecticut state statute prohibits distribution of Ailanthus altissima, but still the tree of heaven grows, its roots like harps around the bulbs of imagined clouds, clear as the sky is for my safety on a slip face at West Beach. We curse it, but still we climb. My second poem is called Rain Dance. Ours is a garden of pain, isn't it? There's a gun behind every blade of grass, and in front, a knife to keep away the rain. My mother's best idea is to hang rosary beads outside her window the morning of a friend's wedding because no one wants to dance in a downpour. There is not enough dancing in my life, not even in rain, especially in the rain. I remember learning the rain dance, the song your body sings to conjure more rain, and being told never to do it. There are many ways to dance, but that wasn't one of them. There are many ways to rid the rain, and another is to bury a bottle a month before the date. When we enter the church, we hold our breaths, are told to make a wish. We do this in every holy place we haven't entered before. Who can say which places aren't holy? Who tells us when to breathe out? Everyone is relieved when at the reception, the sky is closed to us like a fist to hold tight what might break if it fell. When asked why we use knives, someone said it's our proof, as people, that we can put up a fight. Imagine wanting to fight the rain. Then imagine winning, the rain walking home, defeated in the pouring. To prevent the rain, you need the knives. You need the cleared dirt. But to have that first dance when you believe love will go on after all, you need the rain. Thank you.
Thank you, River. All right. Hey, by the way, if you're fighting mosquitoes, there's bug spray at the welcome tent. Next up, Til Punto is a writer from Mexico City and New York City who likes circles. Their work has appeared in the Kenyon Review. Til, are you here? Hey.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm terribly humbled to be reading in this garden. I'm going to read 2 pieces. The first one is Distrust. I walk home, and as I reach the middle of the block, someone calls my name. The sound is familiar, the kind I smile towards. It echoes on the buildings and bounces towards me. I turn around, but there's nobody. There's nobody calling anybody's name. Then I hear my name again, and I turn, but the street is empty. I wait, keeping still, silencing myself to listen, thinking someone might be hiding in a doorway or behind a tree or by an open window, but the longer I wait, the more the street feels like an echo chamber of my confusion, a mirror through which my mistake is reflected. When I pull my eyes away, the mirror falls flat and shatters on the sidewalk, and I walk over the shards, multiplying my broken reflection. Before turning the corner, I hear my name once more, but by now, I know it's all in my head. I want my name to be held by the weight of sound. I want my name called as an invitation to something, but everything is still. An eerie hum of distrust pervades the street, and the sounds of my steps disappear as soon as I think of them, like brushing away footsteps in the snow with a branch. And then the second piece I'm going to read is by Mahmoud Darwish, the Palestinian poet. It was published in 2006, and it was translated by Fadi Judah. The House Murdered. In 1 minute, the whole life of a house ends. The house murdered is also mass murder, even if vacant of its residents. It is a mass grave for the basic elements needed to construct a building for meaning, or for an insignificant poem in a time of war. The house murdered is the amputation of things from their relations and from the names of emotions, and it is tragedy's need to guide eloquence to contemplate the life of a thing. In each thing, there's a being that aches, the memory of fingers, of a scent, of an image, and houses get murdered just as their residents get murdered. And as the memory of things get murdered, wood, stone, glass, iron, cement, they all scatter in fragments like beings. And cotton, silk, linen, notepads, books, all are torn like words, whose owners were not given time to speak. And the plates, spoons, toys, records, faucets, pipes, door handles, and the fridge, the washer, the vases, jars of olives and pickles, and canned foods, all break as their owners broke. And the two whites, salt and sugar, are pulverized, and also the spices, the matchboxes, the pills and oral contraceptives, elixirs, garlic braids, onions, tomatoes, dried okra, rice and lentils, as happens with the residents. And the lease contract, the marriage and birth certificates, the utility bills, identity cards, passports, love letters, all torn to shreds like the hearts of their owners. And the pictures fly, the toothbrushes, hair combs, makeup accessories, shoes, underwear, sheets, towels, like family secrets hung in public in ruin. All these things are the memories of people who were emptied of things, and the memories of things that were emptied of people. All end in 1 minute. Our things die like us, but they don't get buried with us. Thank you.
And next up, David Koran is awed to be here and share the evening in this special place with you all. Well-meaning space cadet from NYC and many thoughts and generally not too much to say. Come and say something for us.
Thank you very much for having me here. This is me returning to a person I used to be. Haven't written anything probably in about 2 decades, so here's stuff from college. Kids. Tugging at my pant leg, some child begs my shoulder as a respite from the rising tide. The forces overtook his sandcastle and had quickly conquered his feet. I raise the child high, and the saltwater scent encircles my once dry neck. Stepping into the shallows, we point to sailboats far offshore, proving that man can conquer the waters. With care, I lower the child once more. Small feet dip into the drink, and there's peace between the two. The waters calmly bow out, and sand is pulled from between our toes. And we wonder what people our age should wonder. Him, his broken castle, and I, the fleeing sea. Thank you. And this one's called Afterward. I've been walking along too many clouds, watching the cold pavement drift by in the breeze, seeing the sun rise down behind the hills, shining dark into the morning night. Too many storms have burst below, drenching the soles of my shoes, tracing lightning towards the concrete sky, peeling thunder beneath my feet. So many times, the tall antennas were almost low enough to touch, and my misty evening walking path wove between blinking stalactites. Once, I stood on a soft white shore and cast a stone across the stars. managing even a skip or two before it felt too high to see. And the spiraling wisps of cloud, still dancing around my feet, form capsized silhouettes of you in my lonely inverse cityscape. Thank you. Sky. Blues and hues and tangible glues blanket the world from the stars, pressing hard in as the lid for our sin hold us tight from the blast of the sun. Glorious white swirls serenely in sight of the children who look to make sense of a mess you confess is ours to accept as our pollution is piercing your hide. Lavish reds consent to be spread on the canvas of spinning dusk. If beauty could kill, but of course it could still be the warning of a death to come. The soft amber glow at the end of your show lets us know that our sky is on fire. It'll burn up and die, and there won't be a cry, for we'll all pass along in your wake. But there's little at stake that we'll try to take at anything more than a glance. And for now, we can sit with our cigarettes lit and say, wow, what a beautiful sky. Thank you. Hover kiss. Contact almost made and lost. Lips that dance despite the cost. Loves that wish to have and hold, despite the stories each has told. Cheeks so close that they might touch. Hearts that will not let so much. Hands in gentle contact dance. Eyes that steal a careful glance. Each should surely pull away, but bodies beg to stay this way. Barely moving tongue or jaws and still not breaking any laws. An almost kiss, just slide apart, with breath that passes each their heart. Forbidden love, as myths are told. The two must never have or hold. These lovers at the brink of bliss, floating in their hover kiss. Thank you. And this will be my last one. Dusk. Set sun, rolling crimson river dance, down the serpentine valleys beneath darkness. Usher in the dusk rust skylights, autumn amber eternity on the edge of sight. Freeze breeze, pleading placid breath in still hills of dark green. Bird songs choke on sleep and tucked wings. Luminous speck insects fluttering fluorescent flight hold back the night. Chirping rhythmic rubbing legs beg audience and sense of ancient rite. Golden gleams bow out the sky stage and pace beyond curtains of black silk horizon. Dusk husks dry crack, snap and shake free from tree coats of bark. Welcome the dark. Thank you. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I am of the opinion not enough poets wear pizza shirts. Thank you. Jasmin Rivas is next, and she is a Puerto Rican woman, a mother, a poet, a community activist, educator, and the founder and president of Jazz Yoga Health and Wellness Living in Southbridge. She holds a BA in English from Worcester State University and an MFA in creative writing from Bay Path University. It may be easier to go up this way, poets. You're very welcome to do that.
Thank you. So my first one is kind of a work in progress. I wrote it last week. It's called Meditation on a World Gone Mad. I hope that those that are hurting from violence and suffering find peace. Can we reflect on the hate leading us to this chaos? The finger we point leads back home. Let's be honest, we can do better. Opening hearts, exposing flaws, like an open wound waiting to be healed. Bullet holes stitched together by compassion. Empathy nursing the path to a better world, where humanity's garden grows. It's not too late. Is it too late? So this one is in Spanglish, and it's called Poderosa, Powerful Woman. And it's part of a poem I weaved into a short essay that I wrote for an anthology that I'll be part of coming out in November 1st with 19 other Latina authors. So here we go. Poderosa, like Mama Chu, my 100-year-old bisabuela, waking up every morning to feed chickens. I noticed my hands in hers. Hands for helping, hands for healing. Poderosa, like Abuela Candita, storyteller. I listened, learning lessons at the foot of her bed. We both saved ourselves and the children. Poderosa, like Abuela Juana, caretaker, Mother Earth, braver than all the men, stomping out that tarantula under the table. Poderosa, like my mother, a survivor, small in stature, a giant of resilience. Poderosa, like my sisters, Brenda, wise beyond her years, Janet, a force to be reckoned with. Poderosa, ancestors speak through me. Han han katu, taino tu, bomba, la sangre en mis venas, llamando, borinquen. Poderosa, mind, body, soul. I stand up, mother, poet, leader, their voices rising up my spine. Poderosa, I shout to the masses, we will not go gently tonight. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Jill Franks. Jill is a guide at the Emily Dickinson Museum, a retired literature and film professor, and an actor in local community theater. She enjoys sharing Emily's poetry with museum guests and seeing their faces light up with recognition of Emily's great power. Thanks, Jill.
Love means only one thing. This is dedicated, or not dedicated, but written to Dad on the occasion of preparing notes for your memorial. I do not hope to nail you in a list. No words convey your gist, your essence ineffable, beyond the power of my lips. But if you asked me in a private place, soundproof and judgment-free, what I think of you, you were strong and free. You never bowed to anyone, least not that I could see. You loved someone fiercely, married her, she knew. You had no means to say. You told me once, love means one thing, only because I said, language, it's slippery. Every word means many things. You said, I know what love is. That's all that matters. How odd we touched the surface of a terrace so deeply lodged. All my dark nights churn there at the bottom of the sea and me. We treated love semantically. I did not ask the overwhelming question, how does this apply to me? Maybe when I was a babe, you kissed or caressed, or at least held me. Could you pick up the baby you might have heard from the other room? Could you see to me? Now is too late to ask or wish for any more. Unless we believe in heaven, you're just a memory of those you knew before. We shall see at the party, that celebration of life, strange love and adulation others felt and talk about. You were so good to them, while your good daughter, the middle one with dark hair, mystery, capacity to think and feel, your legacy. She remains after you left, unable to describe or deny her love for you. The next one is an imitation poem. Do you know about that? Where they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Just got to get it big on my screen. I don't think I have time in the 4 minutes to read the Emily Dickinson poem that it's based on, but a lot of you will know it. It starts, I'll read Emily's first stanza. I started early, took my dog, and visited the sea. The mermaids in the basement came out to look at me. And now my poem. And I want to tell you that I really did hike with my cat in a carrier on my back. I started early, took my cat, and visited the mountain. The ghosts in my dark closet came out to look at me. And orange newts, frozen still, alarmed at giant boots, presuming me to be a god astride upon the land. But no man moved me till I stood as still as human can and felt the sound of silence steal upon the land. And still upon the shore till silence sucked me up, embraced me as a babe. And then I started back. And he followed close behind. I felt his empty shoe trod upon my foot. His laces were untied, his mind an open book. Until we met the edge of wood, whoosh of road, wound of trash. Without farewell, without a look, swallow swift, silence quit. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
And remember, you can find Jill here at the Emily Dickinson Museum for your next guided tour. Maybe she'll recite some of her own poetry on her tour, too.
Thank you, Brooke.
Next up is Satu Minna Schmitz, who is a current public high school ESL teacher and Jewish Christian Studies teacher scholar at Seton Hall University, who participated in the National Writing Project through Drew University. She writes poetry every morning based on short meditations and reflections, and her themes explore nature, animals, spirituality, the immigrant experience, education, and human relationships and emotions. She was born and raised in Finland. Thanks. Minna?
Thank you. Let me see. I think I'll do the same thing. I want to take this off from here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction and for the opportunity to be here. My poem, I'm going to read two pieces, and I'll try to stick to that 4 minutes. The first poem occurred after visiting this homestead of Emily Dickinson, summer 2024. It is called The Red Fox Visit. What curious wonder and mysterious magic is this, to walk and wander, muse and meander in her ancient footsteps, in her very homestead garden and field. Deep emotions and memories from past lifetimes arise like mist and fire against which I have no shield. They consume me must, and I them. We all turn into and return from dust. We just cannot know or remember exactly how, where, or when. From the many mistakes I've made, I've learned punishment then teaches nothing, but pours bitterness and instills regret like a needle set with pins and pricks throwing cold coal and sticks on the soul. while compassion and human kindness warm the heart, shining sunlight and hope on feathered wings on the most important part. A fire rages, or rage fires within me. Can you tell which? As every layer of ignorant injustice falls as fake just fabric over our society, stitch by stitch, as if another AI glitch. To burn more smooth, I need to soothe myself with blue. My soul yearns for a dry wash landscape with vermilion cliffs, where I can touch and burn sage bit by bit, and so remember what is true and forget this age. Time travelers, us poets, we are but grains of sand, whirling in a cyclical spire in the hourglass with ancient souls, hoping to heal this land. The second one is called Maternal Flowers, in honor or after Alice Walker's In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. This is for you, Mom. In my mother's dying flowers, as a 9-year-old girl, I found my own mortality. Not forever here, as a woman, as a human, humbly, reverently. Never as a mother, perhaps as a reflective teacher, always roaming as a wandering immigrant, the other, or as a contemplative writer and a language lover. Frozen in time, I still stand there wearing ghostly white, looking over my father's shoulder, glancing twice. Reading something she had written, something nice, a ruminating poem perhaps, a snapshot of her craft. So I trace words on paper endlessly in poems and narratives about flowers, plants, death, and life, trying to follow in her footsteps, which never left a trace in her endless struggle and strife. But they are invisible petals strewn onto my path, pathways I can only feel when walking tenderly barefoot with the light of my heart. If I do the math and most important part, my mother, my life giver, was my first ever teacher. Although I can no longer reach her, at times I swear her presence is near when I get clear. She is an arch, a forgotten sea stack in the distant horizon sheer. She is the massive orb of fire ready to sink into the sea, playing the lyre as I sip my Lady Grey tea ever so reverently until I dip my writing quill into blood blue ink. Who would think we were once an inseparable pair, without a care, a verified link of a mother and daughter, no longer there. She is now only a slight whisper in my thinning hair. Who's to say what happens in this life is ever fair when it moves and passes away day by day and blink by blink?
Thank you. These are some incredible readers here today. Next up, we have Gri Saex, and you'll have to correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Gri considers herself a re-emerging multi-creative artist from Springfield, Mass. Since 2020. And Gri writes poetry, paints, collages, and does photography. She is going to school to finish a liberal arts degree and is working on her memoir. Come on up.
Everybody. My first poem is called
Sorry.
Really
should have let you do it.
Yeah. Yes, my first poem is called We Are Seeds. From the moment of conception, we are other people's dream with good or bad intentions, or from violations, or from a loving relations. Desired or undesired, whatever the circumstances at inception, the trilogy of our beings, body, mind, and spirit's journeys begins. For 9 months on our mother's wombs, from her own food she nurtures us. She eats to shape us. Blood, flesh, our temples emerge depending on our mother's situations. A planted seed, like any other tree of living emanation. Now, I have 2 poems about the elections, and I must read them. The first one was when elections happened. Election reflection. Are we here to stay, or will we be sent on our way? For everyone voting on November 5th, 2024 in the United States, a crossroad will face. United we stand, divided will fall and fail. Our election day democracy is at stake. Mother Earth about to shake. The earth lifting the death of the leaves of the fallen brave that remained. The ocean upset, anxiously sweeping anything on their way. Helen, Rafael, presagiando what is about to go on stage in the USA. Will we have a buena cosecha, or will it fail? Will the rotten soil of the enslaving fields that for 500 years have churned, will they turn? Will it be a good winter? Will we have a flowering spring? Or will it not rain? Will we reap what we sow? Will the fall harvest be full? Or will it be engulfed by fire as la tierra burns? Will we be the new mothers and growers of earth, or will we become ashes and do to the earth return? I ask these questions in my overwhelm, and I hear Toni Morrison's wise words, and I quote, "In times of dread, artists must never choose to remain silent. This is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair, no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room to fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal." I take her words seriously, and on my way, I create, I write, I heal, I stay, I share. Courage it takes. And I listen to Maya Angelou's echoing words that say, "Just like hope springing high, still I rise today." Now, my next one is also about after the elections, how to get through the next 4 years, 24 to 28. Oh my God. I hope it's not 4. The spewing of spores, the air polluting. Open your heart, I say. Take in whatever fresh air is left. Pack some for the next 4 years. You'll need it later. Sit in loving kindness of yourself. Practice this every day, for the worst of hardships and heartbreaks is yet to come. No due process has begun. Be prepared. Everywhere, every day, anger will reign. Federal and white supremacy's cruelty will escalate. So resistance must surge as well. Remain vigilant, alert. Or physical attacks and fear, beware. A call for courage and compassion I make in community, please stay. For acceptance and grief, be prepared. Don't despair. Prepare to face dejection, but return affection. Make a love reservation, for joy will be scarce, but must prevail. To resist, to persist, do not cease to exist. Be there. Prepare for misinformation. Breathe, deep breathe. Do not give in to daily aggressions. It is a trap to divide us, to occupy us, to distract us. In nature, take refuge. The trees have been there over thousands of years. In nature, take refuge. In the rivers of which tides for millennia will survive, in nature, take refuge. In the motherland, earth, who birthed us, nurtures, take refuge. Take refuge in our ancestors' wisdom and weapons. Take refuge. Pull out the ancestor survival's weapons. Keep it close by, close to your arm, close to your heart. Be ready to take action with empathy, with compassion. Family, friends, and strangers, keep them at your side. Insight. Prepare to cry, but keep joy nearby. Keep in mind Emily Dickinson's prayer. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Never stops at all. Keep singing to survive the grieving of the silence for the next 12 and something 100 days. Keep on breathing, the spewing of puddles, the air polluting. Give your best with patience, with empathy, with compassion, with love. In nature, take refuge. On the day 183, after the devastation, Scotus ruling impetus, on his packet 6 of his puppet he kept, their nefarious pirouette, a threat to birthright citizenship he managed to fetch. The erosion of judicial authority reflects, in nature, take refuge. In nature, take refuge. My last one. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Next up, we will have Marcia Pelletier. Marcia served on the New Hampshire legislature for 12 years. She was a teacher for 50 years and a poetry judge for 20 years. But we will judge you tenderly, Marcia. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to first say how this poem was created. I did write a poem for my class as they were going back to reunions. And it's not our reunion time yet, but we're finding that people are meeting together and going back to the roots and what is familiar. I came from Oklahoma, and I married a New Englander, so we lived in New Hampshire, and that's where most of my life has been. There is a change in the bottom of the poem. I had Oklahomans there because it was written for them, but it will be New Englanders for us tonight. Winter of Discontent. This was written in April 2025. It is poem 615 out of 622 I've written now. How lonesome the wind when in the dark of night the lights go out, with clouds covering the shine, nothing the same, the shame. A door slams shut and all go in to hide out behind locked doors to pretend in a winter of discontent and isolation. Weather, disease, and politics that are cold enough to kill, yet afraid enough to divide humanity and compassion, sacrificing a will to do better. Reach out to that stranger you once knew to embrace. Dignity, identity, and integrity to resolve no more of this. I stop here, inwardly holding my soul to what is dear in her own diminishment. Let the pendulum swing with a rise and fall together in a heartbeat, intensified for what happens to one of us, happens to us all. Connected to those who have disappeared without due process, written out of history, co-signed to hunger, homelessness, and alone, jobless as the innocence of dying children who have lost their way, while the tariff wars play havoc with their livelihood. Even so, stay. What is given can also be taken away, and when there is nothing left, there is God. Lift each other up like a Cherokee corn whose roots run deep as the prairie winds sweep, knowing New Englanders will still be left standing in the uncertainty of a future yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. I'm loving these rallying cries. I'm feeling the line from Emily Dickinson, the mob within the heart, police cannot suppress. Thank you. Next up, we have Jane Kennedy, a poetess and jokester living in Great Falls, Massachusetts. She works at the Five College Center for World Languages and is an alumna of the poetry concentration at Smith College. Jane? Hey, there she is. All right, Jane. Woo.
Hello, thank you all for being here tonight. As I heard at the Phosphorescence reading last night, thank you for choosing poetry tonight. And thank you, Slant and Emily Dickinson Museum for putting this together and for having me. I'm going to start with a love poem called Sun and Moon. Sun and moon scaled the scaffold to my bedroom, grabbed my hand and dragged me up a ladder to the midnight roof. Sun and moon spooned me mushroom soup, murmured my body was celestial too, pestled a poultice, gingerly anointed, taught me to smoke time slow as a tight joint, and when I craved the grave, gave 1,000 little deaths, just the best. Sun and moon knew a party at the art school, dashed to nab their wind-snatched hat back off the avenue. Sun and moon got mumble drunk off of bodega booze and left their tongue unbuttoned on my floor, unfurling deja vus. Thank you, thank you. This one is called Plum Island. The sea knocks me numb, sucks me under and tumbles. The sea strikes me dumb, beats me speechless and pummels. The vast open ocean sloshes me nauseous, gushes brine down my esophagus. She admonishes my hubris, and we cough each other up on the raspy beach. Thank you, thank you. Another watery poem next called Float. At 33, exactly fat and juicy as a ripe peach, softly fuzzed and free, dripping thick and sticky sweet, I bob roundly downstream in my barely there bikini, blissful in my buoyancy and joyously obese. Thank you so much, thank you. This next one is called Stick a Fork in Me. My heart is an undercooked cake, wet in the middle, prone to collapse. Thank you. If Emily Dickinson has taught me anything, it's that a poem doesn't need to be more than 13 words. Why? This next one is short as well. It's called Grief Rhymes. This is based on something that a good friend of mine wrote around her mother's death and shared before her own death. So Grief Rhymes. My body, too, is a too tight shoe. Grace, unlace me. Take me with you. Okay. This one is called Ache. I've got an ache like low pressure straining a badly healed bone in the rain, an ache I can't shake in my fat gray brain. I'm in pain, like my eyes popped their veins, shot their sockets, hung bungee nerved out of my skull. My heart aches sharp and my throat aches dull. I've got a pinch, got a tingle, got a twinge, got a slipped fifth disc, shin splints, rickets, it's sick. I've got an ache and the doc says it's fake and the pills work worse the more I take. I've got a neck like a loose doorknob. I've got scabs. I've got sores, scabs, stabs, sobs. I've got an ache and it radiates from my fuckroot tooth to my whole damn face. I've got an ache and it's not worth a buck to hawk to some crotch sniff perv online. Just a big titty backache bruised in the curves of my hot and throbbing spine. And I do hear the music, but I want to do one more really short one. Okay. Thank you. This one is an oldie, but I think still a goodie, and feels appropriate to read here in kind of soaking in Emily. It's called Acid and Eve. In scripture, my sister kissed boa constrictors, the picture of rapture, my sister, the actor, evicted from pasture by that strictest master. I fixed her a tincture of dragon and glister for agony, stricture. Now nothing afflicts her, though pastors convict her, my sister's the victor. Thank you all so much.
Wow, thank you. Shout out to the 5 colleges. All right, next up we'll have Maggie Lopez. Dr. Maggie C. Lopez from New Jersey has begun a heartfelt journey of self-reflection through poetry, and she is excited to share her thoughts and feelings with you. Tonight, as she reads her poem to an audience for the first time, she invites you to join her in this meaningful moment of courage and connection. Way to go. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. And before I begin, I want to share a story. It will all be within 4 minutes. I only have a poem. I just begun, so I don't have that many. A couple of many decades ago, when I was in high school, for the first time, an English teacher complimented my writing. And it was a poem. It was doing poetry. It was the first time I didn't have to worry about periods. Commas were placed where I wanted to pause. Capital letters were placed where I wanted to be emphasized. By the time I reached my 20s, kind of went to sleep. 4 decades later, it woke up. And just recently, I started to write. I was very excited when I was told that I was going to speak today. And so I wrote this poem, the particular one I'm going to read tonight. And in this poem, and I know it's all about me, the poem, It really comes down to every one of you. Because when you all started, I know, because I feel it, that vulnerability, having to face that fear. And that's what this poem is about. See, one of the things I've learned in this journey that I'm embarking is that when the soul wants to speak, it will override your emotions and will silence the mind. So, if I can find it, can you hear me? My poem is called Discernment of the Soul. And I wrote it with the particular time, place, and all of you in mind. So beneath the fading amber light, a silent courage takes its flight to show my scars, my hopes, my fears, and face the night with unbowed tears. For in this dusk, I find my grace, a quiet strength within this space, a truth unveiled, a soul laid free. In twilight's glow, I come to see. Let each moment paint the sky with colors bold, where feelings fly. For in the silence, I will see the beauty of what's meant to be. Sing, muse of soul, unseen, unheard. A journey deep in silent word. From mortal coil, a spark takes flight to pierce the veil of endless night. The hero, mind, a restless guide through tango halls, does stride, where memories, a hunting shade of joys and sorrows once displayed. So let me wander, let me roam, and every heartbeat I find home. With open arms, I choose to dive into the depths where I feel alive.
Thank you. Dr. Maggie Lopez, everybody. Her first poetry reading. And we have one last poet tonight before we return to some really awesome music with Los Lorcas. So, Mel Arthur, come on up here. Where are you, my friend? All right, Mel is a young Black poet currently getting their master's in teaching at Mount Holyoke College. They are interested in tenderness, softness, and what it means to exist in the world fully. As of now, they are especially curious about trees and are deeply inspired by Toni Morrison. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, thank you so much. I have one poem for us, and I think I'm just gonna hold on to this. So this is entitled Home Poem, and I'm thinking not only about the question of where I'm from, but who I am from, where I want to be, and where I'm gonna go. So this is Home Poem. Once, on the drive back to campus, my Lyft driver told me a story about a ghost he saw and how the moon led him home from the ghost, or rather the moon was running after him as he raced to get home, solidifying my theory that he was the ghost, and the moon was calling him back into it, just like the stars have done for me when I crane my neck up to see them, wondering if these are the same stars my people are seeing. And I'm not even sure who my people are, though I can name some. But I also mean my people, my un-American country people, my home people. that I wish I could name, but then I would have to admit my forgetfulness, admit to the stars that they cannot guide me back, that I have no place to hang up my printed comforts, no friends I can call, but I hold every detail about them except their faces or how they sound. Even though when I moved here at 11, we called one another all the time, my Edith telling me about Paul from church and me telling her about my new room in America and its silly white walls, my Loretta, who's now the same age as me, but I can never pick out her voice from the street, except for the time where the ghost driver slipped into more monologue and I closed my eyes long enough for his words to sound like they were reaching, saying to me, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so happy you're home. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Yes, Mel Arthur. And a big hand for all of our poets tonight. That was an amazing open mic. I'm going to invite Los Lorcas back up to the stage because they've got a short set for us to take us home tonight. Thank you again so much for being here, everyone. Emily Dickinson never had to do an open mic. You all just absolutely dazzled us. Now, for our friends Los Lorcas, they are a band, a bard band, making groundbreaking inroads where most poets and musicians fear to tread, conjuring rich lyrical and sonic tapestries that defy predictable niches, where celebrating the music of what happens. In the spirit of Federico Garcia Lorca, gifted musician, legendary poet and playwright, and ebullient performer, poets Partridge Boswell and Peter Money, along with guitarist Nat Williams and Jacob Breitbach, fuse poetry and music in a passionate and surprising mashup. Los Lorcas blur boundaries between spoken word and song, weaving poetry with Andalusian ballads, blues, rock, folk, reggae, hip-hop, Americana, and jazz in pursuit of the cante jondo, deep song, that Lorca ardently championed. Thank you, Los Lorcas. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the folks at home. We see you out in the interwebs. Thank you, everybody. And over to you guys.
Yoo-hoo! All right. Thank you, Brooke. That's very generous of you. Thank you for that kind of introduction. Reintroduction. I think we, the three of us, ought to give a hand to the poets we just heard. That was sensational. Thank you so much for your words. I really appreciate that. Well, on that note, here's one from the Irish poet Seamus Heaney. You may know this poem. I hope you do. It's called Postscript. Sometime make the time to drive out west into County Clare along the flaggy shore. In September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter, and inland among stones the surface of a slate gray lake is lit by the earth lightning of a flock of swans.
sometime make the time to drive out west into County Clare along the flaggy shore. In September or October, when the wind and the light are working on each other. Their feathers ruffed and ruffling white on white. Their fully grown, headstrong-looking heads. Dr. cresting a busy underwater. Useless to think you'll park and capture it. You are neither here nor there. A hurry through which known and strange things pass. As big soft buffetings come at the car sideways and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. Sometime make the time to drive out west into County Clare along the flaggy shore. In September or October, when the wind and the light are working on each other. Thank you kindly. And we, from time to time, we get to experience a little bit of that poem when we go. We're lucky enough to go over to County Clare and play. So we do. We just did that in June. What a treat! Well, from County Clare, we're going to go down to Wales. Some very inspiring poetic places, but this one is this takes place in Wales. It's called Brecon Beacon. Sometime when you travel, you just want to stop and settle down and let your mind unravel and not have to think about leaving town. Brecon Beacon, take my mind, take me where you want to go, take me where you will. I'll rest here on your hill and watch the land below. My Rosalia, sweet Rosalia, my Rosalie. Someone was bound to take your love away. Someone was bound to take your love from me. Well, any fool can up and run. When he's got some time to use, never worry about what he's done or what he's left behind to lose. Running finally teaches you, when you look at what shows, think you found your peace of mind. All you really find is another endless road. My Rosalia, sweet Rosalia, my Rosalia. Someone's bound to take your love away. Someone was bound to take your love from me. Maybe I'll hitch on down to Devon or up to the Irish Sea. At Old Cookhaven, I've got a friend. Maybe Amherst's right for me. She could still live there, though I know not alone. I could be her friend, but I'll see on my own. My Rosalia, sweet Rosalia, my Rosalia. Someone's bound to take your love. Someone's bound to take your love. Someone was bound to take your love. Someone was bound to take your love from me. Your love from me. Love from me. Rosalie.
Thank you kindly. Thanks so much. And I may as well just mention we have a new album coming out any day now.
Some of it's out there, right?
It's called Wild Island. Yeah. And we've put a few singles out there on the interwebs, and that was one of them. And so I encourage you to go to your favorite place, Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, and maybe give a listen. We got a few other singles there too. This next one is not on the album, but it's one of our favorites. It's one of our very first poems that we adapted our way by the poet William Butler Yeats. You might know it.
Will arise and go now, and golden is free. a stone cabin built there of clay and waters made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and I will live alone in the beloved glade. And I will get some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the crickets sing. And midnights are glimmer, and noon a purple glow. The evening is full of the its way. Will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while standing on the roadway or on the pavement's grave. I can hear it in the deep heart's core. Will arise and go now, and golden is free, and the small cabin building, clay waters made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive on heavy, and I will live alone in the beloved glade.
Thank you kindly. Thank you. Well, we do have a few poems that tend more toward spoken word. This is one of them. Oh, I'd like to welcome to the microphone Peter Money. This is Peter Money to my left, to your right. I heard a fly buzz.
When I died.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
I find that very optimistic.
Yeah. And the stillness in the room.
Still here.
It was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. That's right.
In your ocean ankle deep, I feel your waves crashing on my feet. It's like I know where I need to be, but I can't figure out. I can't figure out just how much air I will need to breathe when your tide rushes over me. It's like I know where to figure out. Will you let me drown? Will you let me drown? Hey now, this is my desire, consuming like a fire. I just want something beautiful to touch me. I know that I'm in deep, 'cause I know that I'm down on my knees. I'm waiting for something beautiful. Something beautiful.
Saving the flies is beautiful. Some fall down only to roll off the roof. We never know what happens to them. Others are stuck for days, upside down in the shower's one remaining puddle. Their wings, windsurfer sails caught flat under a soft veil of sea. When I approach, their threads for legs twitch and spin, really like a baby being diapered. There now, I begin, and I slip the wedge of something found under their bodies. Instantly, they're agile. They grip, unless they're dead. What's possible again? As if they hadn't lain there for 2 days, modeling for a poem about Emily Dickinson. And although it is cold where I free them, as if feeding minuscule birds through a disintegrating cage, each by each, they find a chip of lethal paint along the windowsill outside and cling to it until they regain their wit to fight for flight. First, feeling a direction, then becoming supreme, and in a second, powering their way across the yard. Sure, a little dazed, wouldn't you be? At which point in time they care not to be seen. Probably, I suspect, out of embarrassment. But even if I were not alone, saving flies, as morning lightens this empty house, I would be one of them. Honestly, I admire what they have done, trapped by the smell of something attractive, beaten by the lure of screens whose tiny crossbars look like hatch patterns of hundreds like them. If just their skeletons, they rise, yes, sometimes needing help, from being dead in the water-skunked sputum, a desirable velvety lethargy of drunkenness, wet sarcophagi of what remains of effort, in oncoming winter, boasting a resilience stored and called upon that not even their tribe knew. Because who has time to be sentimental anymore? Someone must be a monk to the least among us. Baby the language with fingers instead of forks. And I did it because they cried out by being silent. And I forgave them after they'd been annoying and numerous during certain weeks of summer, autumn, winter, spring. And I believed it was worth it. Because what is time if not for saving something? And because I can imagine that fly, my enemy, bereft, defiant, equally hungry, equally trying to get away, equally still here.
Peter Money, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
That is Partridge Boswell in the center and Nat Williams to your left.
I'm getting ready to say something. Confession. So, like some of you here, maybe more than some, Emily Dickinson was my first poetic love. First I can remember, at least. Yeah, I found a second-hand, third-hand, I don't know how many hands, copy of her collected in my closet, along with some secondhand, I think they were secondhand clothes. Yeah, and I just, that was, I mean, at least she was the very first poet that wrote for adults that I was enchanted by. So it's a special kind of pilgrimage here for us tonight. Yeah, it's we can feel the duende, if that's translatable. But we'd like to play you one of her poems right now. Wild nights were high with thee. Wild nights should be our luxury. Futile the winds to a heart in port. Done with the compass, child, rowing in Eden, the sea. Might I but more tonight in thee.
wild nights high with thee. Wild nights should be our luxury. Viewed of the winds to a heart import. Done with the compass, done with the chart, rowing in Eden of the sea. Might I but more tonight in thee. Wild nights were high with thee.
Thank you. All right, back to Los Lorcas. Here's one that's called The Strand.
Here in our beginning, on the verge of living in the dawn. Walk nameless on the shore, stoop beside the pool. Oh yes, and please, and more, more, more. Foraging the depths for clouds and anemones and starfish who can keep a secret. Had enough of grieving, had enough of leaving your memory behind, like it wasn't even mine. Someone's sneakers worn and tied, hanging from a telephone line. Tired of looking at the moon with a sharp or not at all. Tired of men who never call or hug their children. One day soon the tide will come and take us out beyond the lip sync crowd of empty faces. Wings of their women will fly into the sun, a feather on the wind, and we run. We run. All this night come calling. All my life I've been falling into you. Light hazes of rain, washing tide will come, take us out beyond the lip sync crowd of smiling faces. Wings are there and then we'll fly into the sun, a feather on the wind, and we'll run. Yeah, we'll run.
Thanks so much. That one is also out in the world somewhere, the recording of that. I'm wishing that there was a poet here. She was sitting right there. I forget her name, but she read a very poignant poem about, well, it involved some of these invasive species. And this one is called Ode to Invasive Species.
You need a cement job, gloves of thick raw hide, and bomb-proof canvas pants. A sharp spade, maybe a pick to pry soil loose around the base. A mild day after a night of rain to soften their resolve. Tolerant epithet or two to remind them who owns the sun and rain. Nutrient-rich loam here, merely on loan. No loppers alone won't do. You need to grab a low, yank and wrench, maybe even dig before. Roots unscrew their tapered lengths from rhizomatic dips. Lukewarm and dark as the womb of a surrogate who consents to birth but not to motherhood. Conservation corps of eager, uninformed youth who won't connect the green sweat of just another summer job with an angry mob's generic objective, who will hear in their names only the thorn in the buckthorn, strife and loose strife, not and not we, suck in honeysuckle. The Russian and Russian olive, false and false indigo, the heave in the tree of heaven. Access
to a 24/7 news channel. It might help, but since your genocide's low tech, all you really need is the hook of a melody's veiled invective. Catchy as Sweet Home Alabama, where kudzu runs more rampant than whatever genus grew in the land. Back to sleep after the Centennial Exposition, where the miraculous new plant was first introduced, along with the telephone and typewriter and their unborn progeny of devices that are now more endemic than they're. Yeah, you see them everywhere. Thank you kindly. Well, sad to say we've come to the end of our set, but this has been a very special treat for us. Thank you. Thanks to Brooke and Anna for having us. Thanks for Timothy back there, for making us sound so sweet. And a special thanks to all the staff and volunteers here at the museum for keeping this legacy alive. Keeping poetry alive. Here's one I guess we'll finish out with. Comes all the way from Dublin. And is by a poet by the name of David Keenan. It's called Unholy Ghosts. I was gifted a book by somebody who loved me, about a man who got even with God. Set in hyperactive London's cold central station, the city began sleeping like a dog. Then a tramp with one eye placed his hand on my thigh, said, "Hold it, pick a window, you're leaving." "Oh, do forgive me," sighed. I was a fan in me prime. Must have thought I was somebody else. Here's to the fathers of the lost sons and the unholy ghosts. It's the ones seem destined to get left behind interests me the most. On the street you've never heard of, there's a wooden piano on its last legs in a last chance saloon. It is manned by a drunkard who's dripping with poetry, sitting stupefied, nailed to his stool. The man, he catches my gaze and produces this page from his waistcoat with a slip disc smile. "Look, boy, here's my last known correspondence with Christ." I tried to read it, but my glasses were filthy. Here's to the fathers of the last saints and the unholy ghost. It's the one seemed destined to get left behind, interests me the most. I am
am the prodigal son, resting his head on the drum that was carried from the welcome parade. And I give all I have, I give all I have. Strip me bare, let me wash in the rain. Past the government housing on Donaldson Road. Open collars and open hearts. They swap anorexic lyrics for pyrotechnic rhymes, while the car lights knife their way through the dark. Ah, but this feeling persists. We as people exist in a state of anticipation. Oh, but it comes at a cost. So the great unwashed have informed me. I tend to believe them these days. Here's to the honest of the lost sons and the unholy gold. It's the one seen destined to get left behind interests me the most. I am the prodigal son, resting his head on the drum. Carried from the welcome parade. I give all I have, I give all I have. Strip me bare, let me wash the rain. I was gifted a book by somebody who loved me, about a man who got even with God.